Bye, Bubba. See y'all later. Hey, good morning everybody, and welcome back to the channel. I've actually got a midweek video coming out today. This video is, today's Thursday, and this one's going to cover the course of the next few days. I think I like that format where I can record a little bit on multiple days instead of trying to fit everything into one day. I think it's a lot easier on me, on my time, and I think it adds to a nicer story. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm all fucked up on that. Who knows? But hey, appreciate everybody coming along. We're almost to 1,600 subscribers. Big leaps and bounds from where we were 6 months ago at just at 1,000 subscribers. So I appreciate that, everyone. I really, really do. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, notifications if you're feeling a little bit ornery, and give me a thumbs up on the video and a comment. I do like interacting with folks throughout the week. All right, now that all that is out of the way, calls to action and whatnot. I had one of those days yesterday where I just felt kind of blah, you know? And I know everybody does. That's just part of the human experience. Now, I feel weird bringing that up because I'm one of those old, I'm not a boomer. I think that moniker is funny, boomers, because that's actually a very specific generation that I'm not a part of. But I don't mind that people say that. But anyway, I know it's kind of a boomer sentiment, but I do think there's a lot of overemphasis on mental health out there. Before you hang me from the gallows, let me be clear that I am well aware that for way too long, at least a U.S. society, maybe even a global society, didn't put near enough emphasis on it. And it was one of those things where it's like, just, you know, deal with it, shut up. And I don't think that's healthy either. So I'm kind of caught in that weird middle spot where I think it's too much for a lot of people. There's some people who I actually kind of like, who just do that all the time, and it's like, stop. I don't know, maybe that's insensitive, and I'm not really trying to be. Maybe it's difficult for my old ass to really articulate what I'm trying to say about that without sounding like an insensitive prick. But man, talk about something else. Everybody goes through it, man, and I was in that place yesterday, so it makes me feel kind of funny talking about it, because I never talk about that stuff. Most likely it's a generational thing, but I do think a lot of it is a regional piece. I came up in rural East Tennessee, and you know, it's a very old-fashioned way of life, even still today in 2021. Appalachia is, it's a really slow place, man. Things take a long time to catch on. And a quick side note while I'm editing this video. There's a saying where I'm from that only people not from Appalachia say Appalachia. Don't say Appalachia. Anyway, I didn't really want to focus too much on everybody else. If it makes you feel better to post those things, then post away. It bothers me, and I know I'm not alone in it, you know. While at the same time understanding that we do often ignore those things. And maybe not so much anymore, because I think it's popular now to have something wrong with you versus having a little grit and determination. I do think grit and determination have gone by the wayside, and I think that's a problem. I think it's easier now to be a victim and quit than it is to, you know, get some hair on your balls or whatever you have and muscle through. Some of these things, yeah, you're going to have to muscle through. But yesterday, I didn't do it. So this week has just been really weird. And yesterday, it just kind of came to a head where, you know, I'm starting to ask myself, what the fuck are you doing? And not just from a creator standpoint, but just in life, man. You know, I'm 45 years old, which I know it isn't old. I make fun of myself for being old. But 45 really isn't old. My white ass beard, my Santa Claus imposter beard, makes me look a hell of a lot older than 45, I think. But thankfully, I have this wonderful, smooth baby face to kind of counteract that. Anyway, but 45 years old, you know, I started a new job 6 months ago, 7-8 months ago, whatever. You know, prior to that, I was in another job for a few months, and prior to that, I was unemployed from COVID, and prior to that, I had a job for a few years, and I'm not really any better off than I was 10 years ago. I mean, financially secure, in a good relationship with my wife, all those things, yeah, those things are there, man. I'm really grateful for that. I've got the same income I had essentially. Actually, I'm making, if we're just talking salary, I'm making $2,000 less per year than in 2014 when I was moved to Florida from my old employer. In this time of inflation, what does that really mean? And how much am I really making less than what I was? Anyway, that's not the focus, but I'm like, then I start thinking of other things. Like, I've got 4 kids, 3 of them are adults, 2 of them are out of the house and doing their own thing. One of them's halfway around the world, or pretty much all the way around the world, in the Middle East, serving a tour in the Navy. One is, a grown man with a wife and daughter, my granddaughter that I still haven't met. And I'm thinking, and then my 15-year-old's at home, and he's such a recluse. And I remember at 15 years old, I really didn't want to be fucked with by anybody, especially not my parents. But then I start thinking, man, do I really have the relationship I want to have with my kids? Now, what have I been doing the last 24 years? Did I do enough? They don't call me. And maybe that's just how it is as a dad. I don't call my dad all the time, hardly ever. Maybe once every few weeks. And that's usually in a response to, he called me and I couldn't answer the phone or didn't want to. Whatever. I just start wondering about those things. And I think, man, at 45 years old, my life is probably greater than 50% over. I don't know. It just started getting to me, man. And then I start looking at things I'm trying to do. I'm making YouTube content. I don't think it's really all that interesting, but I do it because I actually enjoy making the video. I like recording, I like putting it together, but let's be honest, man, there's nobody putting stuff out on the internet to have it go unseen, right? You can have a lot of fun producing content. If you're putting it on the internet, you want it to be seen. So while I do have fun with it, it doesn't 100% bother me. I notice it and I'm like, maybe I'm just too new, or maybe I just, switch my topics around too much early on. That's not really eating at me too much. Or, I look at Twitch. I said, hey, I'm going to try to make a serious effort on Twitch, and I get on and no viewers. And I know that's also common when you're really start getting out. And I know it sounds like I'm making excuses. Maybe I'm just not interested. I don't know. And then on top of all that, I start thinking, I like many others, I think, have this running meme. Most memes, jokes in general are funny because of the element of truth that are in them. They're not funny because they're completely made up. Sure, some old school jokes are here and there, but memes are funny because of the things that are unsaid. But, I've had this running meme, running joke for years, and many other people kind of share the same sentiment that, oh, I hate people, or I don't have any friends, or my wife and I, we don't have any friends. We really don't. And I've been okay with that for the most part. Let me tell you how we got there, right? So, early 2000s, when I first moved out to Arizona, we hung out a lot with her brothers and their families, wives, kids, whatever. And her brothers were really handy with building things like sand dunes and golf carts, or not sand dunes, dune buggies and golf carts. And hanging out with them, we were able to do that kind of stuff all the time. We'd drink beers every night, hang out, turn wrenches. It was a good time. It was like that was our circle of friends and family at the same time. And for a while, that's how life was. And then we moved away to Phoenix. I had the motorcycle club that I rode with, and some of those guys I'm still good friends with today, even though I quit the club in 2013. But I'm going to tell you what took the biggest hit. Well, in 2008. Even though I had, other circles of friends, my wife and I bought our first house, and right from the get-go, we started having people over. We had a housewarming party that was a stock the liquor cabinet party where everybody brought booze to stock our It was a housewarming themed party, and man, we had a good turnout. And thereafter, man, we were having parties every couple months, and man, people were coming, and I had people I could text, and we had a good time, and we'd meet up for beers, and we'd go to games, and just things that friends do. I was having a great time. For me, I grew up as in the Marine Corps. I had my wife's brothers. I always had a group of people that I hung out with. And 2010, you remember, for those American folks, I don't know how this affected the global stage, but you remember in 2008, the economy just took a dump, and the housing market, from all that bullshit lending, just popped, and it really impacted way more than just the housing industry. The whole economy crashed, basically. Well, that took a while to fully realize, I think. And in May of 2010, I lost my job because of it. I was a retail store manager for a company that decided they were going to close, over half the stores. And it was a regional retailer, so it was, there weren't that many stores. There were about 114, I think, and they closed 60 of them. It took me 3 months to find a job because I wasn't the only one in that situation. The job market was just really bad still in 2010. But when I got the job, unemployment for Arizona at the time was like, I don't know, man, $200 a week maybe. I went from making between 75 and 80,000 a year in 2008, 2009 to $200 a week for 3 months, and man, it was rough. So I did get a job because I couldn't stay on unemployment forever, and I had to do something. I started working for a bank, and I was making about 1/3 of where maybe a little bit over a third, maybe a quarter. No, sorry, a third's bigger. I mentioned this in a video right after I bought my lawnmower about how we've had some hardships, and that was one of them. But that one was really rough, man, and people knew we were struggling, and that's when everybody stopped coming around, and that cut really deep, man, because here are these people, and I'm not talking like I had hundreds of people I was friends with, but I had a good solid core, I felt like, of 8, 9, 10 guys I could call one at a time or a few at a time and have a beer with, or hey, bring your family over, let's party or whatever. But when our ship went down, everybody disappeared, man. Everybody disappeared. And I want to be clear, we were down, but I never asked anyone for a fucking dime, man. I never called anybody, hey, we're in a tough time, can you help a brother out? Nope. We figured shit out. There were a couple times over the course of a 2-year period there where my family and her family did pitch in to help us out, but I'm talking like 3 total times in a 2-year span where we got some external help. And one of those times we ended up paying one of my relatives back because he wasn't in the best spot at the time, and he was able to loan us money but not give it to us. But I don't know, man, it sucks. So from that point, that was in 2010. So from that point forward, it has just been me and my wife. That's it. Just me and my wife. I mean, our family. We moved to Florida here, and I do want to qualify that with some of those guys, a couple of those guys stuck around. I'm not going to say any names. You know who you are. One is up in Wisconsin. One is still out in Arizona. About to be a Hell's Angel, actually, this guy. Good friend of mine. One is up in Washington. And then, of course, a friend I've had since high school over in Texas. Those are the 4 dudes, man. The 4 people in my life that have been there the whole time. The whole fucking time. But none of them are here. We moved here in 2015. We bought our house in 2016. I've got acquaintances, sure. People I'm connected with on Facebook or whatever. So that was a long friendship story to say I'm lonely. Man, I never said that out loud until right now. I'm lonely. I appreciate my companionship with my wife. I love her with all my heart. I don't know where I'd be without her. But I'm lonely, man. I mean, I don't think I realized that, how much it was so this until this week. So not having any friends is not the single thing that got me in a funk. Not questioning the quality of the relationship with my kids, that's not the single thing. Not making content for a limited amount of viewers, that's not the single thing. Whatever else I talked about before, but all those things together, when they all kind of hit me at once this week, that's what really got me, and it really came to a head yesterday morning. And I even joked about it in Discord. I'm like, it'll be fine tomorrow. It's not fine today. It's not fine. You know, I think about, I don't know, man. How selfish does it sound? But I'm not going to beat myself over it for too long. I haven't talked to anybody about this, not even my wife. I mean, there's some guys on Discord. I kind of hinted to some of these problems yesterday. Again, I know this is part of being human. This isn't necessarily a woe is me, feel sorry for me, I need thousands of comments and likes from supporters. No, I know it's just a human experience. But it's what I'm experiencing right now. Normally, I'm either a pretty happy guy or I don't give a shit. Right now, I give a shit, and I wanted to share that with all of you. I think a lot of times it's easier to share with strangers on the internet. The best part about sharing things on the internet is you either A, get some good advice, B, just get some, overall love and support from strangers on the internet, or C, somebody says some bullshit, you can just delete their comment. That's the greatest thing. I don't put up with no shit from nobody, man. But Mike, the internet's the free marketplace of ideas. Yeah, but I have moderation privileges as a content creator, as small as I am. And if you say some shit I don't like, I'm going to take it off my channel. That's just how it is. Fuck you. Anyway, man, this probably could be a video all on its own, but we're going to cut it off right here. We're getting close to work. Anyway, we'll see you later on this afternoon or tomorrow. I got some things to do on the Gold Wing. See you later. Alright, anyway, welcome back. It's raining outside. I'm about to use this barkeeper's friend and some water on some of these rust spots on my bike. The stuff prior to this, in this video, I recorded it was actually right at a week ago. And I wasn't sure if I was going to put this out or not. I still might not. But I at least want to make it. I want to finish making it. And I really don't mean to sound like woe is me or any of that bullshit. I'm not really like that. I just felt like talking about it. Sometimes we talk about those things. And, if it happens to be with complete strangers on the internet, then, well, so be it. Do I think it's going to change anything talking about it? Not really. It might. I mean, I'm not talking about it here on YouTube of all places, so I can, have some differences made in my life. But yeah, I'm just really to the point where just really aware of those types of issues that I have with myself. A lot of you guys know that I game. I play games fairly religiously. Not religiously, but I play games very regularly, and it's usually group-based content. I even backed out of that this week as I'm kind of reevaluating the things that I do. Not that I think that that those sorts of activities have any kind of bearing on my social status. Maybe it does, but I'm just figuring shit out, man. I'm just talking about it. You know, I don't even know what changes if I need to make any changes in order to have better relationships with people around me. Not my wife, of course. I think we have a great relationship. Maybe she'll tell you something different. I don't know. I doubt it. But anyway, I'm gonna end this one right here. This isn't a feel sorry for me kind of video. It's just it's kind of hard to convey that while I also address some of the things I'm going through. I don't know what it is. I'm just talking about it. You know, here I am, 45 years old, just being me on the internet. So I do appreciate you coming along. And yeah, until next time, we'll see you later.